startup costs are lower. Startup costs, listen, it's almost damn near free in comparison to what it was 3 years ago to get in. Hit the like button. It's damn near free to get in comparison to what it was 3 years ago. When everybody wanted to get in, when everybody came in, when you couldn't tell nobody nothing. I was the old guy when I was telling y'all, just slow down. We're in a bubble. Things are going to turn around. Prices are going to come down. Be patient. But no. Now is a better time. Why? You got you got Ryder doing buy one, get the second half off. Buy one, get the second. Listen, commercial truck, buy one, get the second half off. We looked at Penske the other day. You got level 3s for 10 grand. You got level 2s for under 20 into the mid 20s. I looked at a Hino 268 for $26,000. That same truck 3 years ago would have easily been $70,000, $80,000. Now presents an opportunity where you can come in with a very, very low initial cost. You can come in with so much of a low initial cost as far as your equipment is concerned that if you really focus and put your mind to it and delay your gratification, you can come in on a cash deal buy for your equipment. 20 grand is not hard to come up with in 2024 going into 2025, ladies and gentlemen. It's not. Regardless of what you may think, all it requires is some hard work and some determination, some sacrifice. Now, you're going to have to come up with a little bit more because you're going to have working capital, and you're going to have to be able to obtain your licensing, the cost of licensing, and your insurance down payment and equipment and things of that nature that you need to supply your truck with. But the point that I'm trying to make is, in comparison to a few years ago, the same equipment you would have paid 3 to 4 times the amount for. So if you look at what the current rates are, if you're looking at middle mile, your initial cost of entry is low in comparison to the person who entered in 2020, 2021, and 2022. The people that are still lingering that made their initial investment during that time period are the people that are complaining, that are telling you is not a good time. When actuality, the time that they got in wasn't a good time. You know who 2021 was a good time for? The people that were already in the business. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all post notifications. Listen, if you were already in the business when rates skyrocketed due to higher demand because volume increased due to the stimulus and people spending the money that the government gave them to spend in the first place, and you were already invested into this industry, that was the time for them. That was their, golden moment. The guy that was already in 2019 or 2018 or 2017 or 2011 or 2008. That was the time for the person that was already in the industry. There's no way that I'm investing into anything during the height of a bubble. Why? Because the bubble is going to crash. Any market. Look at any market. I do this comparison analysis. It's just like buying a stock in 2020 and you missed the rise. That's just like buying CCIV when I sold it at $58. Use a sucker. Lucid is like $2 now. I bought it at 18, sold it at 58. Like 1,000 and some shares. I came up big time. Now it's like $2. But if you would have bought it because of the hype that was pushing all those companies that were overvalued, that weren't worth what the valuation was going, because you had all those people with that free money. They weren't just buying consumer goods. They were buying paper assets as well. People were buying everything. And then guess what? When the market crashed, all those people that bought those inflated stocks, they lost. They invested in something they didn't understand. They invested in the height of a bubble. Same thing with the box truck business. The time wasn't right then for those individuals. Buy low, sell high. Who wants to buy high and lose all? That's why majority of those people failed. The market had to correct itself. So now it presents a great opportunity. Why? Because you can come in with a low initial cost in a normal industry. This is a normal industry. You know how I know? And despite all your naysayers, that's why I dropped the link and challenge them. Because if I'm wrong, why don't these people hit the link? Why don't they come substantiate why they're saying that now is not the time? See, here's the thing. Don't say anything or don't mislead people or tell people it's not if you can't articulate why. Because when I challenge them why you don't think it, you see what the response is. There's no response. I can articulate and substantiate why now is the perfect time. You can get in with a low initial cost, the rates are normal, and you'll be able to compete with the lingering supply that came in during the pandemic with a high initial cost that's paying high insurance, high truck note that's complaining about cheap freight. That's your competition. The guys that are complaining about cheap freight is because they bought a $26,000 Hino 268 for $80,000. So they got a $3,000 and some dollar truck note. They got a $3,000 some dollar insurance. And they can't compete with the current rates, which are normal. They were fine during that time because the rates were inflated. But now we're in a sense of normality. And we're not going back to that time. So when I say there's no such thing as cheap freight, y'all take it and run with it the wrong way. And that's why I keep saying it, because I know you don't understand what I'm talking about. And I do it so you can go share the link in your little groups and stuff, because that brings me more visibility. I want you to hate and get mad because it brings me more visibility. And I drop the link and I dare you to come up and articulate why you oppose and you don't do it, which gives me more visibility. Hit the like button. These are the people that are telling you not get in. These are the people that saying cheap freight because they invested with a high initial cost 2.5, 3 years ago, and they're struggling. You come in with a $20,000, $25,000 truck now. No, just got to recoup your initial investment over a period of time. You can set that. You can set that as how high, as aggressive as you want to recoup and pay yourself back, or how low. The choice is yours. The power is in your hands. See, when you got to pay that high truck note, the power ain't in your hands. The power is in a finance person's hands, because they're going to dictate to you when you're going to pay and how much you're going to pay over a term of how many years. If I go out and buy a truck for $25,000, I can set a 4-year payment plan to recoup, pay myself back. I can set a 5-year, a 60-month. I can set a 6-year, 72-month. I can set a 3-year. I can set a 2. I can set a 1. I can initially say 3 years, but then if we get into some type of economic downturn and I have to shift some things around, then I can increase it. If we're having a good year, then I can aggressively pay it back and then lower it and get it out the way. I control. The power is in my hands. The power is in your hands when you go out initially and do what's in your best interest. So why ain't now the good time? Why ain't now the perfect time? Right now is the most perfect time. Low cost of entry in a normal market. Competition that's lingering won't be able to compete because your operational cost is a fraction of theirs.